keys?
Pete, I ask myself that every day. That you know how it's such a fine line between the over the years. The thing that I've seen is between second and seventh, between first and fifth. I mean, it's being able to get over the hump in those maybe a few road games here and there, and I think we've been fortunate. We've had competitive guys that have done it the way we want to do it, and they just kept sawing wood. And I think we've also had teams that improved as the year went on, and I think that's what this team's going to be about.
Are you the dean of coaches now?
I am.
Are you?
Are you really?
Yeah. I figured that out this morning when I couldn't turn on the lights in my room. I was trying to figure out, I was thinking to myself, boy, what if they stuck Coach Fisher in this room? God bless us. I was pushing the buttons, the curtains are opening up. And I don't know if you guys had the problem too. I told these guys it felt like a grandpa just trying to, these damn lights, I can't turn them on.
So what does that feel like? I mean, when you take a job, you probably don't think, okay, I'm going to be here forever, because it's a very volatile profession.
First of all, I'm happy to be here still. That's always, the former coaches know what I'm talking about there. But it's just been a great fit for me to be at Boise, and I've been fortunate to have some great teams. We got terrific fans, and it's just grown every year. I think this year we're going to have the most season tickets out that we've ever had, and so my thing is we can't get complacent. We got to keep growing, and I think our league's getting better again, and we're heading in a real positive direction. And so I think that's, like you said, it goes by so quickly. I was the new guy in the Mountain West a minute ago, and I was recruiting these guys, and they're on their 5th year already. It just goes by so fast.
What do you think it says about where you've taken this program that you could lose what you did and you're still picked 4th?
Well, that does make you feel good, but I also want our guys to have a chip on our shoulder, and that we didn't sign up to be 4th. They didn't come to Boise to be 4th. We're going to battle, and I know we got big tasks ahead of us. There's great teams in this league this year, and I think that's one of the points I'd like to make is Nevada was really good last year. I just think they were underrated. There was a lot of really good teams last year. We just weren't getting maybe the national respect right out of the gate that Nevada's getting right now, and that's going to elevate the whole league's respect. So we're starting at a better place, I think, as a league in general.
You've been here through the whole 5 teams out of 9 made it in 2012-13 to about 3 or 4 year stretch where it was really a one-bid league. I know there were a couple teams getting in that won the tournament some years. What's the difference right now from that? From about 5 years ago. Is there a difference in the league, or is it just the national perception that views the league?
Yeah, I think, Jeff, that's a good point. I think a lot of times it is perception. Because, you go and play these games and you're like, man, I don't notice that much difference in the level of teams. Some, there's also that year we won every non-conference game. Everybody did. And so the numbers...
Won at Creighton, I think?
Yeah, right. We won at Creighton. Everybody was like 13-2 going into league. I mean, everybody from top to bottom. And so it elevated your numbers. But my point to that is that year in and year out, those teams have all been good. It's not that far of a, in the so-called down years, those, San Diego State's still really good. And, I think we've been good and can beat anybody on a given night. Same with them. And on and on and on in our league. It's just maybe the perception wasn't as good because of our non-league wasn't as exceptional as those years.
I want to ask about Jalen McDaniels. You obviously know a lot about him. You recruited him. In James Webb, you had a player kind of similar, long, and took a huge jump in terms of perimeter shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, 2nd or 3rd year maybe. And Jalen's, at least in practice, seemed to have taken that jump. Is that sort of a natural progression? Is that what you would expect from him?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what we saw when we looked at him. I mean, I thought he was kind of a combination of James and Chandler. He's got the skill of Chandler, but the length of James, and maybe that athleticism a little bit. And he's going to be a great player, and I can just imagine his game's expanding just like those two did, and their junior and senior year. And I know what we're going to see when we get to see him come out.
What problems does it cause for teams when you have a guy that athletic and that big who can shoot?
Well, I think that's where the problems come, is how skilled he is. You know, that kid is. The ball goes in, he can handle it, he can pass it, he catches it every time. He has a lot of different ways to score, and that's where the problems come, is his skill level. Because there's you face a lot of really good athletes. Now you throw that skill level in, that's a separator.
Zach, how'd you feel about getting picked fourth?
Like I said before, I know we talked before, I mean, there's obviously a chip on our shoulder, and that we take into practice every day when we go to work. So, I mean, we got picked fourth, and that's what it is. So we're just going to work every day to conquer our overall task, and that's to win a Mountain West championship or contend for a championship.
You've been a lot of talk about obviously replacing, Chandler and stuff. How do you think that's going so far? How do you think the team's coming together?
I know we took a big loss with Chandler leaving, but at the same time, I really don't think we did. I feel like there's a lot of players and a lot of talent that we have, and they haven't been able to really show that. So there's some big roles that they're going to step up and fulfill.
Leon, Chandler Hudson getting the first-round draft pick, of course, right? First time ever in Boise State's basketball history, I believe. How has that helped the perception of your program?
Well, Pete, we've always marketed ourselves and recruited as a development program. I mean, we want to find those guys like that want to work, that want to get better. Well, now that's a big flag bearer for that. The proof is in the pudding, and as they say, right? And so, we're really proud of what he's able to do, and it's something that we go out and recruit kids. We say we're going to be able to make them better, and there's the proof. And we want to do it with every one of our guys because we have a commitment to make them better, and it really showed up in what happened with Chandler.
Do you almost wish you were picked worse than fourth?
Yeah, there's a part of me, but absolutely, there's a part of me. But like I said, these guys didn't come to Boise to get fourth, and so that we don't take that as a compliment. I mean, I guess it is after what we lost, all things considered, yeah. But in our minds, that's not where we want to be.
Yeah, what's your impression of Wyoming, I should say, going into this year? I mean, I know they got Justin James back, but 8 newcomers. I mean, are they maybe one of the bigger question marks or unknowns in this league going into?
Yeah, but when you start with such a great player, and Alan does an awesome job, he's a terrific coach. So now you put those two things together, that can make a big impact on a basketball team. Because first of all, you're starting with one of the best players in the league, and then they do a great job coaching them, and I think they'll be really good, to tell the truth.
What makes him so hard to game plan for, so hard to defend?
Well, he gets going downhill. He's tough to stop, and he gets going. Again, another guy that can score in multiple ways, and I think he's going to have a terrific year.
David, how do you see the post players being involved more in Coach, with Coach Duryea coming in, and are you excited maybe to hopefully finally get a chance here to have a bigger role?
Yeah, I've had a great relationship with Coach Duryea since he came on board, and he right away became someone that was already teaching me new things about, playing the post position, and I felt like I had, learned a lot from my dad and from a lot of great coaches like Coach Rice. And